Did you know that Chelsea Football Club, one of the most successful clubs in the English Premier League, was born out of a failed attempt to buy the Stamford Bridge Stadium? Indeed, the birth of this legendary club is a tale that is both fascinating and inspiring. Picture this: the year is 1905. The venue, a bustling London pub called the Rising Sun. A group of men, led by the ambitious and visionary Gus Mears, are deep in discussion. Their goal? To create a football club that would call the iconic Stamford Bridge home. After a failed bid to purchase the stadium, Mears and his compatriots decided to take matters into their own hands. Thus, on the 10th of March in the same year, Chelsea Football Club was officially founded. But the road to success was far from smooth. The early years saw Chelsea grappling with numerous challenges. Financial instability and a lack of top-tier players were just a few of the hurdles the fledgling club had to overcome. Yet despite these hardships, the club's spirit remained unbroken. Their first game, a friendly against Liverpool, ended in a 1-0 defeat. But this initial setback did not dampen their spirit. Instead, it fueled their determination to succeed. Their first competitive match, a Southern League fixture, resulted in a victory. This initial success, however small, served as a beacon of hope, a promise of what could be achieved with hard work and perseverance. Over the coming years, Chelsea continued to face trials and tribulations. There were moments of despair and periods of uncertainty, but through it all, the club's resolve never wavered. And slowly but surely, they began to carve out a reputation for themselves in the world of English football. Today, Chelsea is a name that is synonymous with success, but it's important to remember that this was not always the case. The club's humble beginnings set the stage for its future triumphs, proving that every great journey begins with a single step. From struggling to stay afloat, Chelsea began to rise to prominence in the 1950s, attracting top players and winning major trophies. The 50s were a turning point for the Blues. Prior to this era, the club had been treading water in the middle of the English Football League system. But as the 50s dawned, a new era was ushered in. Through a combination of shrewd signings and tactical masterstrokes, Chelsea began to make waves in the big pond. The first major coup was the signing of Roy Bentley, a prolific striker with a knack for finding the back of the net. Bentley's arrival signalled a shift in Chelsea's fortunes. His goals propelled the club to new heights, culminating in winning the league championship in 1955, a first in the club's history. This was a landmark moment. It signalled to the rest of the footballing world that Chelsea was a force to be reckoned with. But the Blues weren't content with just one piece of silverware. The 60s brought even more success. Chelsea's squad was bolstered by the arrival of more top-tier talent, including the legendary Peter Osgood and Charlie Cook. This golden generation of players brought a new level of flair and creativity to the pitch, delighting fans and frustrating opponents in equal measure. The pinnacle of this era came in 1970 when Chelsea clinched the FA Cup after a thrilling replay against Leeds United. It was a grueling match that went into extra time, but the Blues emerged victorious, adding another major trophy to their collection. This era saw Chelsea transform from a middling club to a top-tier team, capable of competing with the best. It was a time of growth and success, marked by landmark signings and historic wins. The Blues were no longer just participants in the league, they had become contenders, feared and respected by all. With a growing fan base and an increasingly impressive trophy cabinet, Chelsea was beginning to make its mark on English football. But every success story has its low points, and Chelsea was no exception. The 1970s and 1980s were a turbulent time for the club. As we delve into the pages of Chelsea's history, we find ourselves in the midst of a storm. The 70s and 80s, often referred to as the dark ages for the club, were marked by financial instability and on-field struggles. The club's finances had plunged into an abyss, leading to a close brush with bankruptcy. Players were sold to keep the club afloat, and yet the storm seemed to be relentless. The struggles weren't confined to the balance sheet alone. On the pitch, Chelsea faced a series of relegation battles. The club that had once tasted glory was now fighting for survival. The highs of the previous decade seemed like a distant dream, as Chelsea grappled with the harsh realities of football's lower tiers. Yet, even in these dark times, the spirit of Chelsea never waned. The players, despite the financial turmoil, gave their all on the pitch. Every tackle, every pass, every goal was a testament to their resilience. The fans too stood by their club. The roars from the stands at Stamford Bridge echoed with unwavering support, a beacon of light in the gloom. The club's management, with their backs against the wall, worked tirelessly to navigate through these testing times. Tough decisions were made, sacrifices were necessary, but the focus was clear: survival and revival. And indeed, Chelsea did survive. The club weathered the storm, learning invaluable lessons along the way. It was a period that tested the grit and resilience of everyone associated with Chelsea. The battles fought on and off the pitch during these dark ages laid the foundation for a stronger, more resilient Chelsea. Despite the challenges, Chelsea's resilience saw them through, setting the stage for a comeback. The dark ages, as harsh as they were, became the crucible in which Chelsea's future success was forged. As we turn the page, we'll see how the club emerged from these struggles to usher in a new era of prosperity. But that's a story for another scene. In the mid-90s, Chelsea began to rise from the ashes thanks to the arrival of new players, managers, and a certain Russian billionaire. So let's set the stage. The 90s were an exciting time for Chelsea. The club, which had faced a challenging period in the 80s, began to find its footing again. With new players coming in, the team's performance started to improve. The fans could feel a change in the air. The Blues were back and they were ready to dominate. By the early 2000s, Chelsea was a force to be reckoned with. But it was the arrival of a certain Russian billionaire that marked a significant turning point. Enter Roman Abramovich. With his deep pockets and ambition, Abramovich invested heavily in the club, bringing in big-name players and managers. This was a new era for Chelsea, and the team was ready to make its mark. One of the key moments during this period was the signing of Didier Drogba, a talented striker from the Ivory Coast. His strength, speed and scoring ability made him a fan favourite, and he played a crucial role in Chelsea's success in the years to come. But it wasn't just about the players. The managers also played a significant role. Jose Mourinho, for instance, led the club to 2 consecutive Premier League titles in the mid-2000s. His tactical genius and charismatic personality brought a new level of excitement to the club. And so Chelsea continued to grow and flourish. With multiple Premier League titles under their belt, the club established itself as a top contender in English football. They were back in the limelight and they were there to stay. The Blues had indeed risen from the ashes. They had faced adversity, they had overcome, and they had emerged stronger. Chelsea's comeback was complete. They were back at the top where they belonged. In the modern era, Chelsea has continued to be a force to be reckoned with, both domestically and in Europe. The last decade has been particularly fruitful, with the club clinching trophies that have further etched its name in the annals of football history. The turn of the new millennium saw Chelsea rise to unprecedented heights. The club's triumph in the Champions League, the epitome of European club competitions, was a notable highlight. The Blues, as they are affectionately known, became the pride of London and a symbol of success that resonates across the continent. Domestically, Chelsea's record in the Premier League has been nothing short of impressive. The Blues have repeatedly emerged victorious, battling against some of the most formidable teams in English football. Their victories are a testament to their unwavering determination, team spirit, and the tactical genius of their managers. The club's success isn't limited to the Premier League and Champions League. Chelsea has also clinched the FA Cup, the League Cup, and the Europa League, among other major trophies. These victories have further solidified Chelsea's status as a powerhouse in English and European football. But it's not just about the silverware. The modern era has seen Chelsea produce some of the most exciting football, with a blend of experienced stalwarts and exciting young talents. Players like Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba and Eden Hazard, to name a few, have dazzled fans with their skill and passion for the game. From its humble beginnings to its rise to the top, Chelsea's journey is a testament to the power of resilience, ambition, and the beautiful game itself. The Blues' story is a reminder that in football, as in life, success is not always immediate. It takes time, effort, and a whole lot of belief. But when it arrives, it's worth every second of the wait.
If you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like. And if you also want to be able to create AI generated videos for free, then check out the link below, which will redirect you to InVideo, where you can create multiple videos all for free.